Right. It's like Immo sandwich, but not in a gay way.
Immo sandwich.
It's like nothing's anything wrong with that.
I'm here with the two dudes from Immolation.
That's right, I'm dude one, dude two.
So, otherwise known as Ross.
That's right.
So, how are you guys?
Just excited to be here. It's a great tour. I mean, we've known Vader for 30 years, so we're good friends with those guys. We're fans. You know, we have a lot of respect for the guys. So there's a, mutual respect on the tour.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we've all been doing it for so long. It's an easy tour with guys like us. You know, just always just an absolute pleasure to work with every time. That's why we've been with them for like 10 years. So
there's one of them.
That's our driver. Classic.
So, on to Atonement. A lot of people have been talking about the fact that you've got your old logo on the front cover.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the logo is our logo. It's not, I mean, it's been there since the band began, and it's always been a part of what we do. It just hasn't been on the album covers because it just didn't lend itself, just the way the artwork, it just didn't work with the artwork well because of the way the logo is. It's either got to be very small or very large. So there was no artwork where it fit correctly, we thought. So, you know, we ended up doing the text logo thing for most of the records because that's just what worked best. And we say this all the time. Even when we did the first record we did with Nuclear Blast, Majesty and Decay, you know, the U.S. office was really pushing. Oh, try the old logo, try the old logo. So like, all right, do a mock-up with our logo, you know. So they did, and then they saw it, and they were like, yeah, you guys are right.
So the problem with the old logo is, you know, a lot of times on the different covers, you have to put it in such a way so that it doesn't step on the artwork. You know, if it's covering a piece of the artwork, or if it's an awkward position on the cover, it just looks weird. So on this piece, on the new album, it worked really well because you had that empty space right over the angel where it was just like crying out for the old logo. So aesthetically, it worked perfect.
It's funny to us how everybody makes such a deal out of it.
It is.
That's what I
but
mean.
whatever, if that's what gets them excited,
The fans like it. We understand that, and you know, when we ultimately made the decision, we knew people were going to be happy. We were like, oh, kids are going to be like really ecstatic over this, you know. So
do you think it's kind of like a placebo that people are like, oh, they've gone back to like their old school sound?
Absolutely,
and all this sort of
they
stuff?
think because of the old logo, therefore it's going to be a good record.
You've got a very distinctive sound in Immolation. How did you come up with that kind of dissonant arrangements and, you know, especially guitar-wise?
It's just over the course of time, you're trying to be as creative as possible, and in doing that, you try different things, you know. I mean, I think more and more as time went on, when I'm writing this stuff, I'm thinking something else could work with that particular riff, you know what I mean? Like, it's just what we do, so it just felt like, okay, this part, because when I write a riff, and then I kind of put the drums to it in the computer, and I kind of come up with a beat that I think works with that riff to make it its strongest, and then at that point, I'll add to it. Over the course of time, it just became something that happens more often, you know, so it's just kind of like a natural progression for us, and I think, you know, the songwriting has gotten, you know, a little bit more refined and straightforward, but at the same time, there's still a lot of things going on there to make it interesting, so it's like a good combination of what we did in the past and where we're going, and it's just more of a streamlined version of that.
I think after almost 30 years, you kind of know what works and what doesn't work, you know, so you kind of have all that experience behind you, so going into each new writing session, you know, we kind of know where we want to take things, you know. In an abstract way, of course. We don't, you know what it's going to turn out. He doesn't know what it's, you know, how things are going to turn out until it's actually written. But we've laid a good foundation, so you don't want to you don't want to stray from that too much, you know. You don't want to cross that line into experimental, you know. So, you know, as long as you keep that essence tried and true and build on that, that's the formula right there, I think.
Because I thought, yeah, especially as you mentioned, you know, like tracks like Lower and stuff like that, they're kind of, I almost want to say a bit more simple.
Yeah, absolutely. As long as it sounds interesting, or I think it sounds cool, I just record it and work with it, you know. And it also depends on how you use something. You know, you could have something very simple, but depending on how it's done, and where the vocals lie over it, and maybe there's a solo over it, maybe, I mean, it doesn't matter. It's however it works, whatever feels correct, whatever makes it, you know, feel right, and that's
whatever makes a good song, really.
We're not worried about, you know, how many notes I can put into a riff or a solo or this or that. To me, it's all about feeling and what works for the song as a whole. That's what happens in like a song like Lower or even More Strings to the Vibe.
yeah.
Or
You know,
even
that's a little
Epiphany.
different, you know,
Even
an Epiphany,
very
you know, it's
slow
like,
and heavy.
it's just, you know, a little bit different than certain things are done, like with 4-string that I maybe like an arrangement or a different way that I might do, or,
Okay.
you know, it's just whatever works, you know.
What about the actual, you know, the inside of the cover artwork? It was done by, I'm going to say his name wrong.
Zbigniew.
Zbigniew Biela.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Does that represent certain tracks?
Yes.
Yeah, that was the point of that. Yeah, so the one with the Christ figure on the cross, looking at the shadow of the cross. That's the distorting light. The one with the phoenix rising up out of the ashes. That's
Heretics.
Rise to Heretics. The one with the rats around the crown. That's Above All. And what was the other one?
Is it the
The
world?
other one's the one
Yes,
with
the one with the world.
Yes. That's
What was the other one?
the one with the jackals. That's
Oh yeah, duh. When the jackals come.
goes
That's
like
pretty
the
solid. That
jackals
one's
over the city.
self-explanatory. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
And you know, we had a lot of, you know, a few different ideas, but we had those 4 ideas first, and we're like, you know, we felt strongly about them, so we said we at least want to get those going, you know. So
Yeah.
and we knew it was going to be a little bit more involved because Zbigniew has a very unique
style,
and,
yeah.
and detailed style. So
Yep.
you know, that was fine. If we could get the 4 pieces from him, it'd be awesome, you know. So you know, the last record. Kingdom, you know, there were some things we wanted to do, but we kind of ran out of time, so we didn't have the opportunity to make the packaging as great as we'd like, and I think the fans kind of were semi-disappointed with that. So this time we really wanted to make the packaging stronger, you know, and much more, you know, interesting for them. Not only did we have Pard do the amazing work for the album cover, and then we had him do a back piece as well, but then getting Zbigniew involved to do the inside pieces to kind of create a nice dark atmosphere for that was great, and he pulled it off.
The idea was to do what we did in Failure for Gods and have a different piece representing each song, but obviously we didn't have the time or the budget for that. So we just kind of picked those 4 songs and we ran with that. And I think because the 2 artistic styles are completely different, it works, you know. So you have Parr's style on the front and back, and then you open up and then it's very detailed black line work, you know, sketch almost, you know, etching almost looking of Zbigniew. So worked really good.
So, obviously, as you guys have said, you've been around for a little while.
A couple of years.
A couple of years. So what's your opinion on the death metal scene in 2017, and how does it differ from, you know, the early 90s?
It's still here.
Still here. I mean, you know, it is. Look, obviously we came up when it was all starting out, and it's still here. Like Ross said, people are still coming out. People are still getting into it. So it's always been there. You know. Bottom line is it's been here all this time, and for us to be here this many years later, you know, with us and Vader, you got good crowds coming out and everything. I mean, it's really cool. You know, it tells you a lot about a style of music that really never had that commercial success. The whole
Never.
style in general has been very underground all these years.
If
you know?
nothing else, it proved all the negative fuckers from the 80s wrong, who looked at this style of music and looked at it as a joke and it's a passing phase. You know, I mean, we dealt with that. You know, we used to rent a monthly rehearsal room, and it was all thrash bands and this band and that band. But we knew that shit was fucking on its way out. It was dying, you know, and you know, we were doing something that was just going in a completely different direction. And they looked down at us, they laughed at us, you know, and we were like, whatever, you know, this is still going strong. So, cool, love it.
What would you say are 5 of the most blasphemous metal tracks?
Metal tracks?
Yeah.
All right, let me see. I think anything over
Satan's
7.
Fall.
Oh, fuck yeah! I wasn't even thinking
I'll
about
pick that
Fate.
one.
Fuck yeah, man!
That's a pretty
Satan's Fall,
blasphemous track. It's just merciful fate.
Yeah, exactly.
Demon Bell of fucking Melissa. Fucking those 2. Anything off the Melissa album is pretty fucking blasphemous, man. Evil, fucking Demon Bell. It's like really. I wasn't even thinking that.
Come on, kid.
Fucking kid. Kid's on fire.
Our musical past has a history of blasphemy. It's all blasphemy.
Totally.
Exactly. Well, thank you very much for having a chat with us.
Awesome.
Thank you, sir.
Awesome.
Thank you, man.
Appreciate it.